everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have September's TBR to be rolled. So this is a game that I do every single month that helps me pick my TBR. I have my son's colorful die here, and each color corresponds to a different way of picking my TBR. Red is like different people that will pick my TBR. Orange is a TBR box. Yellow are cards relating to like format of book. Green are challenge cards. These are always really fun. Blue is a poll pick, so you guys get to pick my book. And purple is Stephen King, except for the last few months it has not been, because I've been really slacking on Stephen King stuff. So we are going to play this game like normal. However, I'm going to try to dedicate September to Stephen King. Stephen King September. I had a project that I wanted to do this year where I was reading a bunch of different Stephen King books because of a non-fiction book that I was reading. I have one video up so far. I will leave it down below in case you are interested. It was all the stuff from the 70s. So I'm currently in the 80s and I got stuck. I got stuck in like March or April and I have not been able to move past it. So I'm going to dedicate some time to Stephen King. I have a whole stack of stuff that I would like to get through, if possible, in September, so that I can at least put out the 1980s video by the end of the year, so that I can continue with this project next year, because I was trying to do it in one year. It's not going to happen, but that is something that I'm going to be trying to do. So I guess we're going to go over last month's reading first, but then I think before we actually roll the ball, I'm also going to show you the Stephen King stuff that I have set aside to try and fit into the TBR. So let's review August's reading. So we rolled 6 times in August, plus August is the magical readathon month. I'm saying is because we're technically still in August when I'm filming this video, but we're not going to be talking about the extra magical readathon stuff right now. I will talk about like that kind of stuff in my wrap up. So this is only the books that got picked during the game last time. We had Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. This was a TBR box pick. I have not started this one yet because it also was not part of the magical readathon. Then we had Siren's Debt by Richard Amos. This was another TBR box pick that I have not started because it's not actually counting for the magical readathon either. Next we had a poll pick, and you guys did pick Dragon Pearl for me. I'm actually in the middle of this one on audio because I've been taking Presley to preschool and listening to an audiobook while I'm out and about. So I'm about halfway through this one. I will finish it by the end of the month. The next pick that we had was an arc. This was something that was supposed to be Stephen King and I didn't do that, so I changed it for an arc. I originally picked The Blue Beautiful World by Karen Lord. However, I have since switched it out for another arc that I needed to read, which is Night of the Living Queers by a lot of different authors because it is an anthology collection. I am over halfway through this one as well. I'm planning on finishing it today, so this will be done by the end of August. Then we got a yellow card, which was actually a prompt for an arc, and I picked New Adult by Timothy Janowski. I have already read this one. Spoiler alert, I loved it, and so I actually bought myself a copy as well, and so I did complete this one. And then the last one that got picked for the month of August was a red card, and Elliot got to pick me a book. She picked I'm Not Your Chosen One by Evelyn Benvie. I'm in the middle of this one too. I'm in the middle of 3 of the books right now. I will finish this by the end of August. I actually don't even have the book with me because it's upstairs on my end table. Like, it's my bedtime book right now. So I do have that one. I'm in the middle of that as well. I am planning on finishing it by the end of August. So I have, what, 2 books that I technically have not started yet, and I'm not entirely sure I will finish in August. Middle Game and Siren's Debt. I really want to, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. We will have to see because they didn't end up being magical readathon prompts, and I have a couple other things that I've actually already read because they were magical readathon prompts. So like I split my focus between the actual TBR game and the magical readathon. And so yeah, we'll have to see by my wrap up time what I actually finish or not. But I feel like we're not actually doing too horribly. I feel like the last few TBRs that I've done have been horrible, so the fact that I'm in the middle of most of them or have finished some of them, it's actually not a bad thing. Like, I feel like it's going pretty well so far. I'm gonna cross my fingers, hope I didn't just jinx myself horribly. But yeah, I don't have any punishments for not finishing my TBR this year. That might change in the future, but I'm trying to be nice to myself because of the fact that I have 2 kids and life is crazy sometimes. So we usually roll the ball 5 times, and I'm going to talk about this right now before we get into the Stephen King stuff, just so you guys know. And I add on rolls based on if I bought too many books versus things that I have read, or also if I, you know, roll the ball and one color pops up 3 times, I will add a roll that way. I rolled 6 times last month because I bought too many books. I have bought some books this month, however, some of them are ones that I've already read, and I feel like this month is going so well that I'm not going to look into it too much because I don't want to jinx myself, like I said, and I'm going to roll 5 times, base. 5 times for the base, and if we do end up with one color 3 times, I'll roll again. But I feel like, especially because I want to try and fit Stephen King stuff in, I'm gonna be nice. We're gonna do 5 rolls this month. So now, like I said, Stephen King. I'm going to be trying to dedicate September to Stephen King. Stephen King September. We're gonna still play this game. If other things come up, I will pick other books and we'll try and get through those too. But let me show you what I sort of have to finish through the 1980s, because I don't think I've ever shown you all of the books that I need to finish. So one of the books that we've definitely talked about, and the one that I'm stuck on right now, is It by Stephen King. Part of it is because I have read this many times, probably almost 10 times in my life. Like, I have read this so much. I love this book. I should be able to read this book. I tried it on audio and I did not like the narrator. I was thinking I would be able to speed through it a little bit more that way while I was doing other things because of the fact that I've read it so many times, but I think that is actually the detriment to it. I don't necessarily think the audiobook narrator was bad. I think it's, I have my own voice in my head that I have associated with this book so many freaking times that I just can't get past that. So I do need to read it. Then we have The Gunslinger, which is the first book in the Dark Tower series. Technically, I don't need to read this one, but I do need to read book 2, The Drawing of 3. So I have both because, like, this is only a couple hundred pages, doesn't seem too crazy, and like, why would I read book 2 without reading book 1? I need to read these. The next one I need to read is Misery. I actually have read this before, not as many times as It. I think I've only read it once, maybe twice. But this is another one that I technically need to read for the 1980s. We also have The Tommyknockers. Now, I have not read this one, and it is quite chunky. I think this one's like 700 and something. No. One of my papers that I had said The Tommyknockers is 700 something. That must have been a different edition. This is 900 something. But that does mean the text is actually quite large for a Stephen King book. So that's fine. I have not read this one. I don't know what it is about at all. I just know I need to read it. And then the last one for the 1980s is The Dark Half. Now, I have read this one. It has been at least 10 years, almost 12 years, I think, actually, since I've read this one. I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I know I have read it. So hopefully that'll make it easier to get through. We'll see. Those are all the books that I technically need to read for Stephen King for the 1980s. I'm going to try to get through as many of those in September as possible, just so that we're all aware. And I think that's all the housekeeping. So we are going to grab Presley and roll the ball 5 times. He is ready to do it. So let's go. Okay, I'm gonna come down here again like we did last time because it's trying to give more floor. We're trying to give more floor. But Presley is gonna roll the ball, right? You're gonna stand there and you're gonna roll it this way toward me, right? Yeah? Okay, roll number 1. Go. Whoa!
Is it yellow?
Yellow! Okay, so roll number 1 is yellow. So we're gonna pick yellow cards. These are relating to like format or genre of book. Okay, yellow cards. Well, I dropped one, but show the camera the one that you picked. Adult.
Adult?
Yeah. Okay, so since I said I need to read Stephen King this month, if at all possible, we're going with the first one that I need to read, which is It. This is definitely an adult book, even though I first read it when I was in junior high, but I need to read this one. I feel like maybe the break that I've had for the last, what, almost 5-6 months or so, hopefully will get me back in the mood for Stephen King stuff, because I want to finish one more decade before the end of the year. So we're gonna pick it. Okay, roll number 2. Oh,
It's blue.
it's blue. We gotta show the camera though. Blue. Then roll number 2 is blue. So this is a poll pick. We're gonna pick a card letting us know like what category of stuff you guys are gonna vote on. Show the camera. What does it say? What does it say?
I don't know.
Turn it around. What does that say?
Yellow.
Yellow.
It says yellow.
It says yellow. Okay, so that means we now have yellow cards, and I'm gonna pick some books out that you guys then have to vote on.
Pick another yellow card. Let's pick another yellow
Another yellow card. There you go. Okay. Okay, show the camera. Horror or mystery? Okay, so the thing is, this is now a poll pick. If this would have just been a normal yellow card, I'd be shoving Stephen King in here. However, you guys are voting on this for me, so I'm gonna pick between 2 to 4 horror or mystery books that then you are gonna vote on for me to read. Okay, I picked 4 things because I could not help myself. They are all mystery or horror, and hopefully would be a good palate cleanser from some Stephen King things. So, Presley, come out from under there, thank you. The first one that I picked up is Something is Killing the Children, Volume 3 by James Tynion IV. I have absolutely been loving this comic series. However, I obviously have not read past Volume 2, but I really enjoyed my time in the world and I want to continue. This is a comic, like I said. It is horror, and it's basically in the first volume about something killing the children, and Erica Slaughter, who is like our main character here, comes to sort of try and take care of the problem. I really liked it, and so I want to continue, and it's going to be very quick and easy to read. So this is your first choice. I then decided a manga would probably be also good. This is PTSD Radio Volume 1 by Masaki Nakamaya. This is Volume 1, but it's technically like an omnibus edition of volumes 1 and 2 of the original series. This was one that I saw on Christina from Northwest Readers Instagram, I'm pretty sure. It reminds me a little bit of like Junji Ito stuff. The art style's not 100% like that, but like it looks good and then it gets creepy, and I'm very curious about it because I love Junji Ito. I'm like horror manga too, and I'm just looking for more, so I do have this one. Then I went to the middle grade section and I have Bridge of Souls by V.E. Schwab. This is the 3rd and final book in the, what is it, Cassidy Blake? Yeah, Cassidy Blake series. I read the first 2 a couple years ago, really enjoyed them, and just have not finished the series. But it is about a girl who can see ghosts and creepy things happen. It is a middle grade horror paranormal thing. I think it fits the prompt, and this would also be a very good one to read and finish the series. And then finally, I could not help myself. I picked The Whispering Dead by Darcy Coates. This is actually something that was on the poll pick for last month that did not get picked. So we're putting it on again because I have not read a Darcy Coates. I want to read a Darcy Coates. This one was gifted to me by my friend Stevie, and I'm very appreciative of it, and I want to read it. So we're giving this another chance. I don't know much else about it. It should be horror. It should have ghosty things in it. And yeah. So these are your 4 choices. Everything is like red and black except for PTSD Radio, which is white, so I think that's very interesting. But I will have this up as a poll pick hopefully as soon as this video goes live. Sometimes I'm a little bit late, but it will be up for 24 hours on my Instagram. If you miss that, or if you don't want to like have to go find that because it's not up or anything yet, you can also leave a comment down below voting on it. I will take those into consideration as well. And so these are your 4 choices. Everything is, yeah, red and black and white. Roll number 3. Okay, try again. Woo!
It's yellow.
Yellow again. Roll number 3 is yellow. We have 2 yellows already. So we're going to be picking another yellow card. And then we just had a yellow card for the poll pick. Yellow is coming up a lot today, and I'm a little bit worried we're going to get another one. Okay, here's the yellow cards again. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, show the camera. An ebook.
Ebook?
Ebook. Okay, so I don't want to say I'm going to get a Stephen King book on ebook just because I have everything that I need to read physically. So I am going to pick something different for an ebook. I'm just sort of seeing what I have here that I could read as an ebook that could be easy. Okay, so you know what I'm going to pick? I'm going to pick The Heartbreak Handshake by J.R. Hart. So first of all, this is a romance, and I feel like with all the more serious types of books, scary types of books potentially, that I'm going to try and fit in September, I might need something that's a little bit more lighthearted. This one does say it's 168 pages, so it is like novella size. That's part of the reason I'm picking it. And this is one that I got during a like Stuff Your Kindle event a couple times ago, so like at the beginning of the year. And one of the reasons that I wanted to read this is because one of the characters is asexual, and I think it's either the same character or a different character, I'm not entirely sure, but I think one of them is also either non-binary or trans in some way. So we have lots of different representation in here, and I'm very, very curious about it. It looks cute. It's part of a series. It's technically like romance number 4, but I don't think you have to read them all in order. And this one was free when I got it, and like the asexual rep was like one of the main reasons I picked this one up, and I feel like that's the reason I'm going to pick it. I think it's going to be cute, and I want to read it because of the rep, and I think I need something that's cute during this month. Roll number 4. Okay, ready? Whoa!
It's yellow again.
It's yellow again, which means we've rolled 3 yellows. We're gonna add on 1 more roll. Okay, and then roll number 4 was yellow, so that is officially 3 yellows. We are going to be adding a roll in, but we're going to pick another yellow card.
Yay!
Here we go again. Okay. A contemporary.
A contemporary?
Yep. Okay, so we got a contemporary, and for this one, I'm going to be shoving in Misery. From my memory of this, from reading it forever ago and the movie, this is contemporary. There's no like extra sci-fi or fantasy themes or elements in here. It is technically still like horror, suspense, that kind of thing, but there's no extra things, extra fantasy, extra sci-fi. So I'm gonna fit this in for contemporary. Roll number 5. And it is orange. Roll number 5 is orange. So this is going to be a TBR bucket pick. However, we do still have cards for orange that tell me how many papers I can actually pick out of the box before I have like the one I'm going to read. Waiting for Presley. Okay, orange cards. And
it's the number 5.
The number 5. Okay.
You're gonna pick 5 papers.
I am.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. Okay, so we have my TBR box here. I will say I recently did an unhaul, and I have not taken out all the papers that are in here that I unhauled. So if we do have any of those come up, or if I have any papers of books that I've already read come up, we're gonna skip those. We're gonna pick 5 books that I have not read and still own and want to read, and then we're gonna pick which book I'm going to read this month out of those. So let's start with this one. We have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. So this would be another mystery thriller sort of thing. Number 2. I have like 2 papers, there we go. Okay, a Doctor Who book called The Stone Rose. That could be a good in-between one. I don't think that one's too long. Number 3. Taboo for You. I think that is a romance, potentially by Anita Sunday. I'm pretty sure that's Anita Sunday. Number 4 is a book I unhauled. We're just gonna move that off to the side. Number 4, Take 2. Okay. Barbarian Mine by Ruby Dixon. I've read the first 3 books in this series, and I don't remember if this is book number 4 or number 5, but if I pick this one, book number 4, whatever's the next one in the series, would be the one that I would end up reading. And number 5, let's shuffle these and try and get like near the bottom. I'm sure they're shuffled. I shake them every single time, so I doubt I need to do this, but okay, number 5, come on. Number 5, lucky number 5. No, that was 5 pieces of paper. I don't want 5 whole pieces of paper anymore. Okay, here we go. A book that I unhauled. Okay, another one. Okay. This is Blue Lock volumes 1 through 3. I don't know the author off the top of my head. This is a manga. But I think I might be going for the Doctor Who book, The Stone Rose, because like I said, it is very short. This is a very, very short one. How many pages is this even? Barely 200, it's 203. And it has the 10th Doctor and Rose Tyler. Yeah, we're gonna pick this one, mostly because I knew it was short, but also I feel like this is a good break from the other kinds of books we're reading this month.
Yeah.
Roll number 6. Hey.
Yellow again.
Yellow again.
4 yellows.
Oh, I know, 4 yellows. Yellow must be liking Presley today. Okay, and then we did have to roll 6 times, and the 6th roll was another yellow. Yellow was 100% loving Presley today, so we're gonna pick another yellow card.
We made rectangles.
We made rectangles? Okay, well here we have yellow again. Still picking the one on the top. Okay, show to the camera. It says sci-fi.
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 Yes. Okay, so now we need a sci-fi book. I don't remember if any of these Stephen Kings are sci-fi. If there is one, it might be this one. But at the same time, it's so hard to tell. I know some of Stephen King is sci-fi. Okay. According to Goodreads, because I could not tell based on the summary on the back of the book, according to Goodreads, some people are shelving it as sci-fi and potentially aliens. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think it should still count if I can get through this whole book this month, because it's another almost 1,000-page book. It's over 1,000 page. This is almost 1,000 pages. But if it is actually sci-fi, this could work. And remember, I am dedicating September to Stephen King, so we're gonna call it. We're gonna say this is sci-fi enough. If it is not, leave me a comment down below. Like if you've read this and you know, no, Goodreads is wrong, this should never have been called sci-fi, put it down there. But it's the top 3 like categories on there. Like they have horror and fiction and sci-fi. Those are the 3. Horror, fiction, which is so broad, and sci-fi. So we're gonna say this. Okay, so I feel like this is not too bad. 3 out of the 6 books that I have here are Stephen King. Some of the biggest Stephen King I have to read too. So we have It, Misery, and the Tommyknockers for sure. I then also did pick a short one here, The Stone Rose, and a short one for The Heartbreak Handshake. And then you do also have to vote on another horror mystery thriller thing for me to read. But again, I tried not to pick crazy ones. So please, also, try not to pick crazy ones. Okay, yeah. Ultimately, I think that went as good as it possibly could have for 1, me trying to do a bunch of Stephen King stuff in September, and 2, having like almost every single thing be yellow. I don't know how that worked. It's the only month that I've had that happen. But like basically everything except for 1 was yellow. Okay. Yeah, that is going to be it from me today. Let me know down below if you do want to vote that way for the poll, because that is also open. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!